We live, y'all. Way too ugly. Hello, 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 Milwaukee. You are now listening to Riverwest Radio, WXRWLP Milwaukee on 104.1 FM and on riverwestradio.com everywhere. You can also listen by telling your smart speakers to play Riverwest Radio. Hey guys, how you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm good.
Lassie, how are you this week?
I'm doing very well. I have great news.
Great news.
Amazing
Great
news?
news. All right.
Amazing, great. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Just to share my co-host. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's just jump into the episode real quick and then we'll get to that because I'm excited to hear. Episode 34, as always, I am Reese Berry. That's REESEBERA. 4Y has his Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Instagram.
I'm Lassie at Lola Baby, BLBE on Snapchat, and Booker Lola on Instagram and Twitter. Wanda.
See?
It's your boy Wanda. It's
Right.
WANJE. You can follow me on all social media platforms. It's Mwanje. We gun it forever. We do people.
I'm well. Wayne just got back from Atlanta. Lassie got good news. Before we get there, let's talk about our podcast, our radio show. Let's tell them where they can find the podcast.
You can find the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, and SoundCloud.
Yeah, you did.
And SoundCloud. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio Podcast.
We're live now.
We're live now. And then we upload videos every week. So right now, our latest episode, 72, is up. The full episode, so catch it out on our YouTube channel.
And if you want to see our beautiful faces on the camera right now, stream us. If you don't want to just listen to us, see us. All right. Wani, you want Lassie to go first? Ladies first.
Ladies first. Go ahead.
Lassie, tell us your great news.
Oh, man. Well, guys, I have found a new place of employment.
Okay, good.
That is good, because you know what? It's close to home.
You want to tell us more, or it sounds like you want to tell us more?
No, it's okay. I am happy. Nervous to start, but I am happy because I was just unhappy. Previously, my previous job, my commute was just way too long. It was just
Yeah, that was a force.
a lot of problems. So this should make things easier. It's full time, so.
Good.
Yeah, we'll drop one of Clue's bombs for Lassie.
Can we say that word on the radio?
What, Clue? Oh. It's a radio bomb.
One? How did you go?
Yeah.
You said we can't say bomb on her.
Huh? No, I'm joking.
So now we was at the airport. Get him, I gotta get on the plane.
What's up? They're gonna
escort you right off.
They're gonna jinx me. I want to talk about Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta.
That's what I'm talking about.
Atlanta, man, God, it was beautiful.
Okay.
It was nice. It was lovely. Had a great time. Met some great people there.
Meet your little chicklet.
Couple actually.
They listen. They don't talk too much.
It's not a podcast, but
Be like chicklets.
Chicklets. Friday. So we got there. We all left at 8. We all left at 8. We couldn't get into the Airbnb until 4. So we left them at 8, and then we got there at 10 something. So we drove around just a little bit, and so what's on this thing?
8:30.
I said, put up a little pamphlet, got the calendar,
Oh,
flip page.
no, I'm gonna get the highlights. The first night we went to this place called Peanuts. And
sounds very trashy.
It was fun. Use your imagination.
They do this?
No need to get into details.
They do this?
They didn't have that. Yeah, I almost gave away my savings account there.
That's terrible. It's like Will Smith on Bad Boys. He's like,
Yeah, I almost wasted money rent.
that's terrible.
Yeah. No, it wasn't terrible. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. I don't know her name. I still got her name. Saturday night, we went to this place called Compound, and K-Camp was there. Actually, our VIP section was right adjacent to K-Camp. Yeah, so
Hilarious.
we were standing up on chairs, on the table and stuff.
That's why you was on the table.
Yeah, so I was on the table.
You gotta turn it out.
It was wild. I had a good time. The DJ was trash. Like, he would start the song.
What's the DJ name?
I don't remember his name, but he had New Balances on. That's all I remember. And
So they got a New Balance?
yeah, gray New Balances.
Okay.
No, it's funny because Murray pointed them out. He's like, look at the shoes. I was expecting to have different shoes on. I was like, oh.
Y'all annoying.
I was like, oh.
So he's the last of the group, huh? So look at your shoes.
So it was unfortunate because they was playing some K-Cap songs, and I did not know some of those songs.
Yeah, I don't really know. What's the
Yeah.
popular song he sings? I heard his name, I just can't think of it.
You know that.
Snap,
and
snap.
then, yeah, I said Wick.
Anyway,
Yeah, it was the other one.
that's fine.
Yo Girl Will Get Slayed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Sunday night we'll just chill. That Saturday night, we met some girls coming out of not Compound. Friday, we met some girls coming out of Pinups.
Y'all should see how he pointed right now. Make sure y'all stream us on YouTube.
Right.
Because this is great.
Pinups.
This is great footage.
And they came to the crib.
I put it on our, it should be on Facebook and our Instagram. Or if you just go to our YouTube, you can push share.
And they came through. It was real chill. We played Spoons and everything with them. And it was a cool night, man. Some beautiful ladies. Some real Georgia peaches were there. I mean, some real peaches. Like, my neck was on a swivel. And shout out to Atlanta. It was fun, man.
Excuse me, is that your burger? Just fine.
Leave
me alone. Anyway.
Yeah, man. So I had some great food. I had these breakfast tacos that were off the chain. Yeah, I can't wait. We all should go down there one time. I mean, I would love to take you with y'all down there too.
Yeah, sounds fun.
There was a lot of this in Lennox.
Of course, you know that.
One dude, the guy I bought these shoes from
What's your
the
shoes?
store, and he was like, "How can I help you?" And I was like, I was trying to be like, let me get a
Really,
size
James,
11.
that serious?
Sure, I can go right in the back. And I was like, all right, cool.
Can't take him nowhere.
And came back to the Beyonce song, came back twerking, like, here you go. And that's like, just tell him my name is Jordan, and y'all get my credit. And
So they call me Lonnie.
And he was like, who helped you out? I was like, Eric. No, I was like, no, I said Jordan.
You
And he was like,
Let him get his credit.
I was like, Jordan over there. He was like,
shut up, troublemaker.
I was like, oh my God.
Hilarious.
But it was so normal down there. It was just like, hey, get used to it. So.
Right.
Anyway.
You said it's not normal?
We keep talking.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Anyway.
But that was fun. I had a great time. I did miss you guys. I was wondering if you recorded because I wanted to call in.
No, we
But
did not.
I did miss you all. Y'all too. Recently, when I seen you not Milwaukee. And
Well, dang.
Y'all know he ain't got no home spirits.
I
Right.
do have
You don't believe
I was
nobody.
repping Milwaukee all down there. They're like, where you
Yeah,
from?
but Jersey.
No, someone from Milwaukee.
Hilarious.
You know, they got to put my ID. They're like, what is this? It's like, where you from? Milwaukee. I met this little 21-year-old down there, and I was like, what y'all do?
Whoa.
She's like, I did nothing.
21.
Oh. But she said she was 21. And she's like, I don't do nothing but just play games. And I was like, all right, then, Then I met the lady from Senegal. They had a little restaurant. Had some curry chicken. It was not curry, jerk chicken. And it was spicy.
Yeah. Well, Mwanje, we were glad that you had an amazing time. Thanks for the briefing. Sounds fun. I see any more remarks on that? Or
No.
pretty squared away on that one, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like you had a nice little trip. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll speak more about that later. We'll get more of the dirt later, huh? Anyway, question.
What is the question?
I don't know who proposed it.
Oh, I didn't pose a question. Can you?
Keep up with the pamphlet.
I'm trying to share the link. I don't know if Is it okay to shoot more than one shot at the same basket?
Okay, can you give some context?
I've been contemplating this.
You
know, a lot of times.
Going back to.
Huh?
Baby, come back. She said technical file.
I've been thinking about this lately, and
highlighter yellow. Lime green.
That was terrible. I don't want to go back to that. People got their new grades, got their new job. Shoot them out.
Don't get
is
yourself
that
in
A?
trouble.
What else? That's a T.
T.
That's a O. Who's that?
Time out.
Be quiet.
Yeah, keep going.
Right.
Who you shooting your shot at again, boy?
Dang, I ain't trying to act brand new. I really don't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Put it in group chat. Put it in.
Hilarious.
Can you shoot the same shot at the same basket? Meaning that, can you talk to you? You know, if you got denied, your shot got blocked once before. When is it okay to actually come back? Is it okay to actually come back and shoot the shot again? Like, should you stop at that one denial?
Give me some. You talking about like
say for instance, you know, you tried to shoot your shot and you're like, you know, I'm at this time and place now where you know I'm not looking for a relationship. Cool. How are we gonna be?
This is a young lady, huh? Tenderoni. Little Ronnie.
Think about a Ronnie.
Machiavelli.
That is a wrong. Right.
I'll do your body. So was it one of those things where she goes, hey, not right now, I'm not looking for that, I'm getting my life together. And then down the line, she probably got her life together, you want to shoot it again.
But, even if you don't think she got her life together, or you feel like, you know, she might have, you still shoot that shot. When is it okay to shoot the shot again?
I don't know, ask her.
Have y'all put it better, have y'all gotten shot at before? Or have y'all taken shots before?
Heavens, no.
Have y'all taken shots before?
Have we taken shots or have we received the shots?
Have you received shots before?
Like numerous times?
Numerous times.
I can't think of nothing off top, but I'm assuming yeah.
That's not a bad assumption for a woman.
Yeah.
I'll just say, for example, so I don't know if y'all seen, there's a video of this guy, he's doing a proposal to this girl, and she says no, and everyone is like, she's bogus, she didn't have to do him like that. But he's asked her out before, and she said no. So why would you think she would say yes to prom? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of case by case, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, and you know, everyone was blaming the young lady, but she doesn't have to go to prom with him.
She does not, absolutely.
She said what she said.
I think it depends. I mean, people can be in different places. Like, hey, maybe you stick around and you be my friend for a year, and then the next thing you know.
So what are you doing between those 12 months?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying for real, but I mean, some people feel that they really need to be by themselves in order to get their lives together. So
that's not selfish at all.
Right. So if in that event that it takes me 6 months to a year to get my life together, I don't want the distraction of being in a relationship because that can derail me from getting on my path. Because now I didn't stop and we created this relationship path. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the person, and sometimes you can reshoot, but if you just shot after shot after shot after shot,
don't use a machine gun, okay?
Take no for an answer. Take no for an answer and move on.
Got the Braxton voice. I see what you mean.
What about that I think it was a meme saying that on average women get hollered at more than men.
So I said it's not a bad assumption to make.
I disagree with that though. If there are more women than men out here, and just logically thinking, one would assume that men would get hollered at more than women should or could.
But you kind of live in an era where you have the whole, don't shoot your shot. Not saying that women don't, but I would assume that more men are. You walk down the street, hey, what's your name? With the braids.
On average day, you probably. I think in totality, y'all probably would.
We should do an experiment.
Yeah, let's do a Webby experiment. We're supposed to do one at Mr. J's and and
we should still do that.
And the Water Street one.
We should still do that because, to me, if there's more women, I feel like you basically saying that because there's more women, you feel like
they would shoot their shot. Yeah.
But I feel like
still
men, because there are so many more women, men are going to holler at if you at a bar and 4 separate girls walk in, I guarantee you that guy is gonna try to shoot a shot at least 3 or 4 that walk in.
Yeah, y'all say no.
It don't matter. He's still gonna try.
Oh my gosh, you got real eyebrows. Real eyebrows. Wow.
I'm just saying that's my whole point. Like, I've been out when I was single, and the most, yeah, I had to make sure. So the most I've ever tried to shoot my shot at a guy was maybe once, but I've been out like, in a relationship and single, and I've had 3 to 4 guys come up to me.
Yeah. I couldn't see it really being the other way.
Right, I just can't.
It just, I don't know. I mean, logically speaking, that would make sense. If there are more women out there.
I don't think it's logically, I think it's number-wise.
Yeah.
I want to say statistically, but I don't have any stats on it, but just
I
number-wise.
can't say that. I can say statistically.
Don't.
There are more women than men. Therefore, one could assume off those stats that there are more women hollering or trying to talk to or shooting a shot at men.
No, to me,
I agree.
To me, it goes back to my point, though. I think because of, and like I said, it's changing now, but because of how women, don't approach him, let him approach you. I think that like on top of that too, yeah.
Yeah, we do. I'm not gonna disagree with that, but
and y'all is bandits, so.
Number-wise, it would make more sense.
But it don't.
It don't, because I feel like if so, let's say these same 4 girls. I'm gonna get off this. The same 4 girls walk in to this bar, right? And they holler at the dude, right? So say they all come up to you, but you was really feeling girl number 2, but girl number 3 and 4 still try to talk to you, right? But you're not really feeling them because you're not gonna be paying attention to them because you already with girl number 2. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have time to shoot their shot because you standing there with girl number 2. They might walk in and be like, he's kind of cute, but you already with girl number 2. So
you know how we are. We see. I guess it depends on the type of woman because you might get you a Nikki from Say the Last Dance that don't care.
All right. But come in front or wait till you go to the bathroom, slip you a number like, oh, you cute.
But if you
and never happened to me.
Okay. Rest my case.
I was gonna say point proven.
I'm just one man out of billions. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
I do have to say though, when I was out of town, I was definitely shooting shots like everywhere. Like
you out of town.
I guess that's probably what the confidence was.
You gonna do a smooth layup.
I guess that's what. Oh, no, I'm just hitting with the. You
ain't gotta shoot from the 3.
No, I wouldn't even have. Like they even say like the accent is different, like you talk different, this and that. But I had to realize too, there are a lot of women that aren't from Atlanta that was there too. They're from like Michigan. There's people from Michigan and stuff like that. So there's a lady that was from Senegal and stuff like that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean you're in a different place and people like different stuff. People want to meet different people.
Strange.
You go anywhere. Where you from? Not here.
Not here.
You know what I thought about? Super random. When we went to Miami that one time, Catfish.
I was thinking about him the other day.
Oh, that's the guy with the pink.
Yeah. When he take off his hat.
I'm done. All right, but
Next subject.
Should I rest my case?
You showed me. What's Daryl? Daryl. You showed me in there. I'm like, get out of here, man. We're not that close. Why would you do that?
So do you have to be close to? Interesting. Next subject. Really more?
I'm ready.
You can shot yourself in the foot.
Kanye.
Yeah, so.
I'm confused.
Okay.
Anyway, let's talk about Kanye West.
Easy.
I'll just stretch my hand.
Anyway,
Everybody just stretch their hands to.
Now, if you want to set him up.
So, I don't know if people have been paying attention. Kanye West has made his return to Twitter. He's been saying some things and.
Enlighten May.
Him and Charlamagne God, shout out to Charlamagne. They recently sat down for an interview. I think they said it happened April 18th. And I didn't get to watch all of it. I did watch some. So he discusses a lot of stuff. From what I saw in regards to, I got up to the point of his relationship with Jay-Z and the whole mental health aspect of everything. And then there was some other things going on. He recently had said some comments about, I'm sorry, we're not there yet. Let's go back. So he talked about being a husband and a father.
Yeah, I want to talk about, a lot of times we forget about celebrities being people and realizing that I don't know if you brought it up, one of you guys brought it up, ladies brought it up, that, so celebrities are people too, and has a wife, he has kids. Like he has to go home and tuck them in the bed or read them a story and this, that, and the other.
They got nanny for that.
For that. But he definitely discussed one of the issues about about his wife. He was on stage and his wife got robbed.
Right.
And how the plot was so intricate that they waited till he left in order to rob her. So he talked about how he bought the security, this, that, and the other detail and stuff like that, and how it failed, and he wasn't even there to protect her, stuff like that. So he was very vulnerable in that aspect. And a lot of times we sit back and forget. He said that was part of his mental breakdown as well too. Breakthrough that he said. He says breakthrough. So I just wanted to throw that.
I found it. What I liked about the interview, like I said, I didn't get to see all of it. But from what I saw was, I think with his recent tweets on Twitter, a lot of people are trying to throw the word mental illness on him, which I don't take that with it. What's the phrase? Grain of salt. Because I feel like that's a really serious thing to say about people. You don't, if you're not his doctor or he hasn't personally told you these things, and even Kim tweeted, like, I hate that you guys, every time, something happens, you guys are just trying to throw that he has a mental illness in the air, and she doesn't like it. I don't like it either. I don't like the things that he say, but I'm not gonna say he has a mental illness. But he does, he talks about therapy. And Charlamagne asked him, like, why doesn't he go to therapy or does he think about therapy? And Kanye says something along the lines of, everybody is my therapist. He said he just ends up talking to everyone. And I said, I was kind of on the fence about that.
Yeah, I thought it was actually quite interesting because it's a two-way street with therapy. I think it depends on who you ask, like him. So you get some people where you may go talk to Mwanje or McCoy or somebody, and they, in a way, they may be like, I'm tired of hearing the story, or you may feel as if they feel that way. So they kind of got this bias, that thought or opinion. So some people may go to a therapist because they don't know you, and they're able to give you an unbiased opinion. But his thought was, and which to me makes sense too, like if I'm talking to anybody, but he said, my host waiting on the phone for 45 minutes. They could be on the phone like, I mean, if you know him, bro, I gotta go. I got kids. I gotta go. So, right. Stupid. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it definitely brings conversation.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was like, it can go both ways. And I also said that a licensed therapist can see some stuff that my friends or family can't see. They might be like, oh,
there's techniques and stuff.
Yeah, not only are you depressed, but you're also showing some signs of bipolar or whatever the case may be. So I like what he said, but I think it was just kind of like,
Towards the end of you watched it? Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I didn't finish the whole thing.
So then he does take medication.
Yeah. But he went back
to that. I don't know what for. I mean, to throw mental illness and just chuck it up to that. I think you can't do that. Because Charlamagne, being the journalist that he is, he kind of say like, what he taking? He's like, no, I ain't gonna take what I take. But yeah, I mean, trauma. Anyway, are y'all getting the joke?
No, I'm reading. So I'm sorry.
It went over my head. So.
Trying to remember to talk about trauma. You like that's too personal. Remember? That episode was
53.
Oh, you 53. You good.
I remember these things.
Yeah. So he also talked about being confident, and being confident is his superpower. In that, how him being in the hospital kind of took away that confidence, and by him, Barack Obama kind of coming at him, and people in the media coming at him, and then his close friends are coming at him. It kind of destroyed his confidence, and part of being Kanye West is that he is so uber confident, but by him being in the hospital, it kind of took that away from him. There was a point he even said too, where he was in the hospital bed. He told two of his friends not to leave me till the kid get here. But there was a point where he had to actually get in the elevator and take him up to the floor, and they told his friends that they can't stay. And he's like, that was the most scariest thing I ever did, because now I'm in this room with these doctors, and I don't know what they're gonna do to me. You know what I mean? So he talked a little bit about that, and now he kind of regained his confidence back. I say check it out. Check out the rest of the interview if you have it. It's a lot that.
Yeah, it was hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, hour 45 minutes with a lot to debunk.
To me, one of the things I wanted to mention too, some of the things he did contradict himself on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I just found that quite interesting. One thing I just remember off top, he said, Charlamagne asked him something about the whole thing with the Beyonce in the video, and then he goes, Charlamagne said, yeah, well, you said when you were in Sacramento, when you were ranting or whatever you want to call it on stage, you said that whatever the issue was with her performing, that she wasn't going to perform unless she won. Yeah. And he was like, oh, well, I didn't really know.
Yeah, he said somebody told him something.
He was like, well, somebody that know. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like that, but it was a couple other things too. Well, I'm at work and where I'm just like, Kanye. Yeah, so I'm just like, but you can tell that he definitely thinks about what he says. And I listen to you, but I watch your actions too. And there are multiple times where Kanye would ask him questions, and nothing's wrong with it. Where you can tell that he took 5 to 10 seconds to actually think about it before he responded. So yeah, quite interesting.
I looked at his mannerisms. It's funny, his mannerisms and the way he talks reminds me of Jay-Z. Jay-Z would talk, and then if he missed a point, he would say something like to the effect of, so we were walking down the street, Beyonce and I, and he would say something to that effect, and I noticed that Jay-Z does the same exact thing. So we did kind of talk about Jay-Z and how they're cool. They never had a chance to sit down and talk about their issues and stuff like that. So.
I wanted to ask you all this. It was just something I wrote down. It was random. One of the parts I was actually paying attention to while working. They were talking about communication. I think the whole stuff with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Why didn't they come to your wedding? Why didn't you ask, whatever? And then I think it was Kanye or Charlamagne said languages an overrated form of communication. So I wanted your thoughts on that. Because I asked that because we live in a day and age where you got to communicate, and people want to hear your voice. And I guess they were talking about body language and things like that. And I think Charlamagne, or it could have been Kanye, I forget, said some things can't be explained, some things can only be experienced.
It's true. Sometimes I don't like texting because people interpret text the wrong way. Not even the whole all caps or this, that, and the other. I intentionally wrote it this way to say communicate a certain thing, but you wouldn't have never got that unless you had been in front of me. And that happens a lot too. I guess
that's a good example because texting and you're using words, and which is essentially a language. The only thing that it made me think, and it's kind of off subject, but it's I guess on subject, it made me think of when I was in Cuba and I didn't speak Spanish and the lady didn't speak a lick of English, and we were both pointing at stuff, but it was you could tell it was fun on both ends, but it was just we looked so stupid talking to each other, but it was to me it's what made it better, which was kind of interesting. That, and when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of a good point, because I feel like if we were just sitting there talking, it'd have been cool, but she's showing me stuff and I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay. So it's interesting, but it still makes you go,
I don't know. I'm not listening to again. You said you don't know who said it.
I know he said it, and then I think Charlamagne. Yeah, and then Charlamagne said the second part.
Oh, I don't know. Listening to the interview, I'm not gonna lie, there were some parts where Kanye was talking, and I was like,
yeah, I think he was rambling a lot at the beginning because I was about to turn it off.
He was. So I'll just say that I agree with what y'all said. Okay, I mean, yeah. So.
And that's why I said I don't want to overanalyze anybody. I just think that he's just a thinker, and he just thinks out loud.
I had to sit back and think about it. I'm like, am I really a Gemini? Because I'm not
And
that.
He says what he says.
Right.
He says what he thinks out loud.
He says what he thinks out loud. But one thing he talked about too, he had bought 300 acres of land, and he's actually built a community on that land. And towards the end of the interview, they actually go out to the
land and take that picture.
They took the picture, and they actually surveyed the land. And talk about some of the things, and some of the things I understand from Kanye. We got a song out with T.I. and him and T.I. going back and forth. I don't know. It's just a lot of times, like you said, right.
I didn't even hear that one.
It's just we finna get into the whole the TMZ thing. After watching the interview and then watching him rant on TMZ, it's like, huh? Like what? I'm a Gemini. I don't get it, fam. I don't know. Like say for instance, Tupac is a Gemini. You could tell he has the street side and he has the conscious side. That makes sense to me. I can see that. But with Kanye, he's Kanye's a free thinker, and then he's a artist.
Kanye on the cusp.
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you gonna explain the teams and things?
Yeah, do that.
So Kanye was he had an interview with TMZ, and the interview, the portion I had just caught was Van Lathan was kind of ripping into Kanye, saying that you need to be more considerate of your thoughts and ideas to say that.
Start from did you see the first part of it? When
I did catch that. He had another interview with the two people, right?
Yeah, well, that's where it started, because that's where his learning lesson, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he was talking about him being on opioids.
See, I saw a clip of that part, but that was kind of wild. I was like,
what did he say before that? I forgot now.
He said that slavery was a choice.
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Oh yeah, so he was saying that slavery was a choice for 400 years. Like he was like, "Come on, fam."
And he said some other things too, but
yeah, but that was kind of the bulk of everything. And on top of him agreeing with Candace, I think the lady's name.
Yeah.
Saying that we're not victims, we're victors, which is true. But to dismiss 400 years of slavery, which Van Lathan, who's another guy that works at TMZ, kind of ripped into Kanye and saying, like, for you to say that you're Kanye, you're a genius, you're not really with the marginalized people that have to deal with these consequences of what you say and what other people say on a day-to-day basis. And he said, I'm frankly appalled and I'm hurt. Then towards the end of the video, you can see Kanye's like, I'm sorry, now I didn't mean to. He walks over there. I want to see that too. I'm like, why they cut that off?
The way he was looking, it was kind of like
I'm so sorry,
like it was really.
Yeah.
I don't know, everything is just like, it's very peculiar to me. Like,
I don't know, man. It's just and like T.I. posted the video up too, and T.I. had the little he was like, bruh, come on, Gary. I don't know.
What's your thoughts, Saucy?
I was very upset. I was, because like Van said, you're not a part of the everyday society.
Right.
And I was talking, me and my boyfriend had a discussion about it, and I said, you know what, Kanye, he also brought up, what is it, 45?
Mm-hmm.
45 being his friend. And I said, that's fine and dandy, but me personally, I can't support anyone who is not for the progression of my people. I just can't. And then for him to say that, he's not, like Van said, he's not being considerate to what they went through back then.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a choice to leave the plantation or stay? Yes, that was.
Yeah.
But after seeing what happened to some people for simply not obeying something or doing something incorrect that they didn't even know that they were doing correct, you can't expect people to just say, let's just all revolt and let's be done with this.
Mm-hmm.
If they only know this one state, where are they supposed to know outside of this state?
Yeah.
And how is it a choice when these people did not come to this country themselves?
On top of that too, a lot of people, when they were free, which took a very long time to even know that they were free, a lot of them said, I'm going to stay here. Why? Where am I going to go? This is all I know. So a lot of people stayed on the plantation to still continue to serve. So it wasn't really, that's
I just felt like
a moot.
Like Van said, like it just, like his comments was just like, just rude and disregardful to things that actually happened, things that people have actually went through. You can say what you want to say, but be considerate of what people actually went through and the decisions that they had to make back then.
And I get the ideology. I understand you trying to say that, we need to be progressive, we need to be progressors, we're don't dwell on the past, but you have to understand
I think it was his delivery.
Yeah, his delivery.
I was gonna say, I think his delivery is, and a lot of people said that, because obviously, and that was my first thought, well, anything is a choice that you do.
Right.
But you have to think about, do I jump off this boat or do I get beat? And then you may even think about it like this, just like, not to link it together, but just like he said, and he contradicted himself a couple times. In the other interview, like, well, when Charlamagne asked me, you got a wife, you got a family now, it could have been the same back then. Like, do I run and lead these people or my people? And then, or do I step, it's like, you can't really speak on something that you weren't there for. It's just kind of like with the school shootings or something like that. You like, I would have did this. Like, I don't know what I would have did at that moment.
Yeah.
So, and I think, like Moran just said, like, the whole progression thing, I think it's a whole like, I just got all these thoughts I think I'll talk more about on the podcast.
Yeah, same.
But I just think that there's two separate things, because like I see people arguing like, well, he ain't lying, and I'm like, yeah, like the whole idea of him, the choice thing, I mean, that's true, but I think that, and like I said, I'll talk about this more later, but I just think there's two things that that's separate. And
some mothers did not choose for their sons or kids to be split up and go to different plantations. They didn't choose that.
And
they had to sit there and do that because they were.
But I guess this whole thing is there's 400 people, or there's not 400 years. It's a long time. And all these people, but I'm like, you have separate people. You got Harriet Tubman. You got different people that actually tried that choice. But there obviously consequences that came with it. So like I said, his delivery is bad. He even said in the Charlamagne interview, like, I'm not media trained.
Right.
And I mean, you
can tell.
Yeah, you can tell that. And I get the whole free speech thing, but it's like I think he compared himself to Malcolm X or something. But
one of his friends is Malcolm X.
But he's giving me that free will, excuse me for the lack of a better term, like hippie type vibe, like the whole. And I get it, but it's like we need to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, clean it up, because like Van said, it's your same thing like I know Van Lathan said. Your words, your words have consequences and repercussions, and you gotta be very careful.
He actually has an amazing podcast. I didn't even realize that was him until I was looking. I'm like, that is Van. He did one with Damon Dash. That was really good. He did Charlamagne was on there, and I think I listened to one with
Is it through
Basketball Wives. It probably is. I can't remember. It's the Red Pill podcast. But yeah, he did one like an emergency one he released. I was listening to it earlier before I came here. He gave like 5 points on his thoughts about everything with Kanye. So yeah. So listeners, we'll talk a little bit more about this in the pod if we want to. So yeah, I know everybody has their thoughts on it, and that's cool. Give your opinion, and we'll speak on that later.
You right, so many bars, man. Dang, do we have to let him go? We gotta cancel him.
See, I didn't really say that. It's just we'll talk about it later. All right. So I had this question. Speaking of celebrities, I don't know if you guys seen Westbrook.
Yeah.
Leaving Utah. Yeah. So I want to ask you guys about celebrities, like being real people, and like how far is too far when it comes to like fans doing things to you, and I guess from my understanding, it wasn't just taking things from fans and shooting a free throw while you're getting yelled at, but from what I'm hearing, there's like racist things said to him, and obviously things about his family. So where do you, or can they draw the line as basketball players or signed to a team? They're out there to play the game, and when in your emotions, you just lost. You expected to win, and somebody like,
right. And
then you got other people in the crowd, saying racist things and actually have signs up about you and your family. Can you draw a line?
Family, draw a line with family because my child and my wife asked to be a part of that. Me, personally, if I was Westbrook, if I was a celebrity or athlete, whatever, it wouldn't bother me. I signed up for the job. I know what comes with that. Saying racist comments and things like that. I know a lot of players say when they go to Boston, it's like, they're saying a lot of crazy things to you in Boston. But
from what I hear, Utah is bad.
Yeah, Utah, yeah. So for him to lash out like that, he's human. He just lost the game. Mm-hmm. So it's one thing that, like you said, one thing to have a camera in your face. I mean, that's part of the job. I mean, cameras are everywhere. There's a camera probably was behind her that he probably just couldn't get to. But she happened to be there. I don't know, did she say in the additional comment or anything like that? The lady that he kind of smacked the phone.
No, I thought it was a dude. But
it was a dude? Oh, I thought it was a lady.
I think it was both of them, but I thought the dude more so stretched out. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when you kind of approach
he was like super close.
Approach on a player and get in that space like that, or anybody like that, they're going to naturally lash out.
Can you draw the line on passion? Like he has this passion for the game, he just lost.
Yeah, I mean,
like where do you take your stick in the sand and go? Is it the racist comments? Is it the so do you think you should expect the camera in the face?
Yeah, absolutely. It's game. That's what they're there for. It's not like it's a comedy show where camera phones away. You're not expecting the phones to be there.
I feel like anything that happens with a fan, like for instance when we talked about the little boy wanting to touch LeBron's hand, people.
Yeah, just a little boy though.
True, but I mean, at the end of the day, fans are gonna want to, if they see if you're in reach, they're gonna want to get a close-up picture. Hey, everybody, I'm this close, or they gonna want to touch your hand.
What if they doing that and they say something racist?
Nah, it's a no for me.
Run our test.
Meta world.
Meta world people.
No, I think I think if someone, not everybody can tune those type of things out.
Right. I agree.
Does he typically do a good job of that? I don't really know.
I mean, this type of game was an elimination game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a given, but it's like, I don't know.
Right, and he's made a comment saying that, you know, he's tired, he's sick of people doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it may have been a build-up of obviously the passion for the game. You know, you lost, you got Carmelo and Paul George and whatever happened with that. And then you got, from what I hear them saying racist things in the crowd, and then you just lost, so you walking out, and the last thing is somebody got a camera in your face. So, like you said, people are human and things happen. I was just curious to see you guys' thoughts on that because, you know, you hear people saying that they signed the contract, that's what they signed up for, they're a slave to the contract and blah, 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 slave for the lack of a better term, but.
Like with K-Camp, like it was just women all around him and this, that, and the other, and it's kind of like, I didn't see him like, you know, shoo him away, like I don't want to be here, you know, he probably got paid for that appearance. And then for me, our section, we weren't like, oh snap, this K-Camp, let's get a pic. No, it was more so like, all right, you doing this thing? Shoot, we got our table too, you know what I'm saying? Right by the bar, you know, but. And then after leaving out, we were walking out, going to find out where the next spot to go. I see him getting in his Lamborghini. He got his little security guard there and this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. And I kept on moving. That wasn't going to bum rush. I'm like, yo, let me get a pic. Like this, that, because I'm like, this dude probably, like, I did my job. I got to go. And that's one thing that I've learned and taken into consideration is that knowing somebody that, you know, that actually plays on a professional level is that at the end of the day, they look at it as, he looks at it as his job. He left, he actually had to leave early to go back home, to go back to work, because I gotta get ready for training. So it's just like, this is their job. Yes, it's on a high profile level, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they have an HR, they have a contract, they get paid, this, that, and the other. You know, it's just a little different because they're televised and they make a little bit more money. So, and they have, you know, opportunities to make more, and they have a brand. So, that's one of the things we're trying to do. We're trying to build our brand. You know, we can't get mad at every time somebody, why be on sucks? All right, look at those numbers though. Look at these numbers.
Yeah, but and it may be a little bit different. I don't know. I think, I think it's if you go overseas or something, like the paparazzi can't be all in your face like here.
Right. I know we can't find. We trying to record a show on the cameras like Beyonce, you know.
Right. But then you gotta, like you said, build that thick skin, and that's a part of what you are. And
exactly.
I don't know. I find it quite interesting because we always talk about mental health and them not understanding. I don't want to say understanding, but this life that we live is not their life anymore.
Right.
We don't really know much about that life because that's not what we do.
Right.
Fair enough. Just wanted you guys to input. So yeah. Let's talk about cousin East.
So, yesterday, Issa Rae had Twitter in an uproar due to some comments that she made in her book that came out 3 years ago.
I thought she woke up like, what the?
She didn't even comment. I'm glad that she didn't. I wish she would.
That's what I'm saying. She probably saw it. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I was looking for it.
So, if you haven't seen, so Issa made a comment she was on the show, and she also has it in her book, and she basically said that Black women and Asian men are at the bottom of the dating pole, and that they should just date each other. They should get married and have children and things like that. And a lot of Black men took offense to it. Does that offend you, Melinda?
It offend me now. I saw a stat that said something like on Tinder or any dating app, Asian women or men, like nobody picks them, and then Black women, like, no, it's like, I forgot the numbers, but to her point, it was true.
Right. And she said that. She said if you go to the dating sites, they have those stats on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why people were upset. I just thought it was interesting because even in her book, which came out 3 years ago, that people had plenty of time to read, she said something about, again, she said that Black women should date Asian men, but she also went on to say not Filipino men because they're the blacks of Asians.
Hilarious.
And somebody was like, that's something to be offended about, and I was like,
message.
Mm-hmm.
So what do y'all think about that
From my
statement?
understanding, I didn't read her book, but just seeing the type of person she is, the book was written in like a satire format.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, what's that Chanel Lil Wayne song? That's all I have.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, and a lot of people were taking it out of context. You're reading one paragraph out of this.
Yeah, a whole book. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate, I can see how some people can try to say the whole thing about, you know, black women, and I guess the whole having a choice thing, and, you know, guys being like, oh, just because I want this or I want that, and then they assume black women be mad about certain things, like that's not even the issue. So it's like another type of uproar to me, and it's, people look at it as like a double standard type thing, I guess, I don't know.
I don't want to steal her thunder, but shout out to Jen, from Such Effing Lady. She mentioned that straight black men are the
She always says, I was reading her post.
white men of society, something like that. She said something like that.
Yeah, I guess.
The black women.
Of the black race, I guess.
Yeah, of the black race. And I sit back and I think about it. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I get it. It makes sense. I get it. Unless she's gonna expound on it tomorrow, but it's true. If Issa Rae is speaking the truth, and like you said, in a satire form.
Yeah, I mean,
The
that's
numbers
my
are there.
understanding. I didn't read it.
The
And
numbers
if
are
the
there.
numbers are there. I mean,
The numbers
it is
are
what it
there.
is. And if she's a comedian in a sense, I mean,
Or especially in the second form, you know, Filipino.
Yeah. she gotta put her little sleeping mask back on. And shit.
So season 3,
I said
secure. I was like, don't even worry about that, boo. Make sure you get season 3. I see you with Michael B. Jordan taking pictures and stuff. I see you do your thing. Do your thing, ma.
Any more comments on that? Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Sisters.
Funny. I just wanted to give I guess one of those check it out type things, because I'll probably talk about it on the next episode of our podcast, so we can go more in depth. You guys heard of this documentary on Netflix called Flint Town?
Yeah, I saw the police officer with the black baby on her arm, or hip, or something like that. It's part of the picture. Before you click on it, you know, you got the little picture.
Yeah, it's I'll just kind of read the description here. It says, over a 2-year period, filmmakers embedded with cops in Flint, Michigan revealed a department grappling with volatile issues in untenable conditions. There we go.
Oh, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I think it's like 8 episodes. I think I'm on like 4 or 3 or 5, something like that. And it kind of, it reminds me of, I don't know if you guys seen the one. I think The Game was kind of the voiceover for it about Compton, California. It came on like USA or something last year, and they kind of do that, starting about how it was kind of like that American dream type city in a sense, and you know they had the was it GM factory, and that was the job that you had, and you know the whole lifestyle, and it just changed. And obviously we know one of the main issues is the water being poisoned, and I just thought it was interesting. It's basically as people know or should know, that it was based upon a policy decision to save money. So no, not even that. They switched the source of water from the Lake Huron to the Flint River, and they said they waited like 5 months to warn the public about it and the toxic level of lead, and that's kind of another issue too. And I guess you kind of see the police officers having to deal with policing. I think the number of police officers in the department is way less than what's needed to police the area.
Wow.
And then one of the officers said something that was interesting to me. He said, how can you hold us or me accountable for hold me accountable for what I can actually control? And it's like, you got all these people and a couple of police officers, and we trying our best. And you see kind of something that, you know, police interaction with people where you go, ooh, but then you see some that you're like, oh, because I seen one that I was like, okay, that's how you should handle a situation where, like, it was, I think they pulled the guy over and he kind of like tried to go this way, and they're like, where you going? So it wasn't funny, but he was like, man, like, I ain't know what y'all wanted. And he was like, no, when you see 2 cars, you gotta go. And he was like, what? He said, I thought it was a shootout coming. It was like a shootout. Because you can see where they be like, what? And then he be trying to express himself, and they be like, oh, and then they be like, what?
Right.
So it was just, and then the dude was like, no, baby, I'm just trying to, you know, the officer was telling him, I'm just, you know, that ain't you, you good then. He was like, all right, I'm gonna tell my people y'all go. And it was just, it was interesting, like, interaction to me, but It's a lot more in depth than that. It obviously has 45 and different scenarios and different stuff happening. So check it out. 8 episodes. We'll probably talk about it later.
Yeah, man. The law of nothing, the law of nature is self-preservation. So he's just trying to look out for himself. Like, hey man, wait a minute. I've seen these scenarios too many times.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was interesting. Like, cause the officer was like, "No, you good, baby? I'm just, you good? I just want to make sure." He was like, "No, man, cause I thought when you see two officers." Because he thought he was saying like they was gonna start a shootout, and they was like, "What?" He was like, "No, I'm thinking I'm in the middle of one. When you see 2 cars, that means you gotta move." He was like, "Oh," and he was like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "All right, get in the car and go." Wow. All right, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some debating, I guess.
Yeah, I seen this post
Pretty hefty.
last week. I'll explain it in short.
Okay.
So really quickly, so let's just use y'all too. So Reese, you borrow Mwanje $4,000, right? You've tried numerous times to get your money back from him, and he refuses to pay. So then you ask for, you just say, just give me $2,000 and we'll forget about it. He says, Mwanje says, I only have $1,700 in my account. I can only give you $1,500. You said you feel like you have no other option to accept because at least you're getting something back.
Right.
So you say, okay. So you wake up the next day and you check your bank account. You have $15,000 in your bank account. You keep staring at the screen, but it is indeed $15K. You grab your phone and immediately see 36 missed calls and 20 texts from Mwanje. He's begging you to transfer back $13,500. He only meant to send $1,500 and accidentally added a zero. So what do? Do you send back the $13,500? Or do you take your full 4K that they originally owed, take more, keep it all? What you doing?
Don't interrupt my karma.
Okay, there we go. What has Mwanje been doing to me when I've been asking for these coins?
Ignoring you.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go on my little vacation to Italy. I'll be back next year.
My vacation
I'm buying some property. I guess to be nice, I'll probably go take what you owe me and then you can have the rest back. You owe me 4 G's.
But, and what? What can
you lie? So
right.
But just to be nice.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you
lied. Go ahead. No, I lied. How I lie?
You said you only had $1,700 in your account,
right?
And you can only give me $1,500. But then you sent me way more.
I just got the money.
You sent no. That's not what we discussed. Okay, you sent me way more than what you told me you had. So therefore, you a liar.
Because I borrowed money from last week.
Therefore, I'm keeping the whole thing.
Sir, please.
I bought another, what's that, $1,500.
Therefore, get you a can of sardines.
That's fair. All is fair. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Somebody sends you more than what was discussed.
Hopefully I'm not hurting as much as I need to be. I'm getting a little funky.
Oh, it's funky. It wasn't funky when you did it. You can't loan people money because as soon as you ask for it back, it's funky.
No, I'm not saying. He don't want to. I'm saying he gave me the money. Yeah. No, I'm saying when he gave you gave me the money, and it was end up being $15K. I'm gonna give you a little $1,700, whatever the little money, the money that
it's
I should have gotten.
$4,000 that you owe.
No. I'm saying if it was vice versa. If I gave loaner the money, I give her the money that you agreed upon.
So how much would you
able
keep?
To pay.
So how much you keeping?
I'm keeping the amount, the $1,700 or whatever the amount that you intended to pay me. I'm gonna do that. For what? I mean,
15?
You gonna get yours. Yeah.
But she owes you $4,000.
But you ended up agreeing to pay the $1,500. So that's what we both agreed upon. So I'm just gonna take that back.
You said in that video, that's what you said.
Right. I ain't gonna. That's technically. I mean, even though you're owed it, but you agreed.
I can see what you're saying, but
that's technically
you
still.
lied. I can see you.
Right. And I know not to mess with you.
I'm interrupting your karma. So I'm gonna take my 4 G's.
No, I'm breaking karma.
No,
I'm interrupting.
I hear what you're saying.
The Lord made this happen for a reason.
He put this here for me. And you.
No, I'm gonna. If you agree to fit, obviously you're hurting that much that you have to lie and say that you.
They're not hurting.
You're not hurting.
You can send me an extra 13.
You sent me 300% more.
300% more
than what you had in the account.
Man. Go ahead and take a little money that we agreed upon. I just don't have to borrow money from you and not to mess with you if we decide to go there.
That's a given. We know that.
Right, but at the same time, you're owed what was given. I'm sorry.
True. true, but had this never happened, you would have got the money that you agreed upon.
What money? They've been dodging you for weeks.
The agreed upon the $1,500 that you could only give me.
I want my $4,000. I could have took that out of the savings. I could have took that out of the savings.
Right, you don't know how hard I had to work to give you that, and you dodging me, and I'm supposed to.
What if my car broke down and now I really need that cash? Now you dodging me.
I don't borrow. The rule number one: don't borrow money.
But she just said my car just broke down.
Right, you are correct. That's why I said, what if my car just broke down and it's gonna be $2,000 to fix, $2,500 to fix?
You should sign the promissory note, my guy.
So, yeah.
See,
note to self.
Acting like that, I'm gonna keep all the little money.
I would want that to occur. If we all agree, if we all borrow that type of money, I would personally would want to have some type of note between us so that when it gets down to business, if something were to occur, then he's I'm lying. If something were to occur, you can take me to Judge Mathis. Sir, you're a crackhead.
Like, you still sit down, shut up.
I would personally would want to do that because that way you can hold me accountable.
Fair enough.
So
let me ask y'all this a radio now real quick.
Alright.
Seeing this online, it's real short and sweet. I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
Question: is it creepy for a man to approach a woman while at the gym?
No.
You ever approached a woman?
Not at the gym, no.
Why not?
Because they got headphones in. I don't want that trouble.
So why? Is that creepy?
No, it's not creepy. I just say that at that point, yes, you're right. That point is creepy. But if there's
so when do you approach?
Probably when they get off the gym or take off the thing. The threadmill. No,
little high ponytail like you like.
Man, it's cute, but I'm gonna wait till she get off. You know, get the little spray so she can spray it. You know, hey, I got that for you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, wipe it off.
Like, dude,
excuse me, can I help you? Like, hey, you know, I like tan. You know, I can help
Lastly,
spot
would
you.
that be creepy?
I think it depends on how they approach me. What machine I'm on. Like, obviously, if I'm running on the treadmill with my headphones in. Like, if I'm getting it in and my headphones in, don't try to approach me. Just wait until I get
So is that
done.
creepy or is that just?
I think it is creepy.
It's rude.
If I'm on the treadmill,
I have my headphones on for a reason.
running at 6.2.
What if you say
6.2?
I'm saying creepy. What do you think?
Yeah. Possible. No, I think it's I think it depends, like Lassie said, on what I'm doing. Obviously, if I'm mid stride, it's me. What you want? But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where I can't really say if I'm in the moment, I would probably give you a better answer. But if you come real smooth when I'm mid stride, whatever. So.
I'm gonna catch you after you know you got that cool down period. You let your endorphins go. You feeling good. You feeling great. Like I can kill this.
What if he hit the cool down button for you? You gonna be mad?
Huh?
What if they hit the cool down button for you?
That's too much.
So they can talk to you.
You put the fall. You get mid run with the fall. Like what? Now you gotta take the little stop button off the little medallion thing off the button machine, so you can stop running. Oh man, that's too much.
All right.
That was fun.
Yeah. What's this? 34.
Note to self: do not holler at a woman that while she's on the and make
Yeah.
Like a little disaster.
Yeah.
See you
ride the bike.
Yeah, let me clean it up real quick. Listeners, since we have you here, it's our spring cleaning time. We need your help gathering items for our spring fundraising campaign. Donations should be no bigger than a shoebox, worth no less than $35. Let's turn those special things you no longer need into tax-deductible donations and keep community radio on the air till next spring. Y'all want to hear us, right? Well, there you go. Shout out to our Riverwest radio listeners and the people of YBO Podcast. Episode 34, how you guys feel about that?
Amazing.
Why, you okay over there?
I'm dead. I'm done.
See how I did that there?
I'm done.
We're going to put that in. Episode 34 is always I am Reese Berry. That's REDSEBERA. 4 Y's. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Instagram.
I'm Lassie at Olababy on Snapchat, BOYBE, and Instagram, Twitter, @Lola.
I'm done. You can follow me on all social media platforms. M1J and WANJ. Oh my God.
Yeah, there. Check out our website, YBOPodcastMKE.com.
Get on stock up.
Everything about us is there. Until next time, guys. See you guys next week.
Peace. Oh, that's funny. That's how much clean this up a little. Get this off the air.
Say spring clean.
I'm gonna clean this up a little.
Fill up.
Sorry, man.
All right.